guys, welcome to Off to Great Wall. It's Mike.
It's Dan.
Hey Dan.
Yeah.
Man, when's the last time you got a haircut?
Ooh, not for a while. Why is it? Is it all puffy?
Yeah, no. It looks great, man, because you usually get a haircut every other week.
Every other month.
I'm just kind of asking because I want to make sure you're okay. But let me ask you. Did you know the ancient Chinese actually didn't cut their hair?
Yeah, I mean, you see in those kung fu movies, they got like a ponytail down to their waist.
But they're all silky smooth,
Yeah.
so they must have had painting back then. Anyway, guys, let's take a look at Chinese hairstyles throughout history. First, Pre-Qing. Throughout most of Chinese history, hair was highly valued even as much as the body was. It was seen as a symbol of self-respect.
The ancient Chinese didn't cut their hair, as it was considered disrespectful and a form of mutilation. According to Confucius's classic of filial piety, our body, hair, and skin are given to us by our parents, so we aren't allowed to destroy them.
That kind of reminds me of the whole step on a crack, break your mom's back thing that kids do, but less superstitious. Instead, it's more like cut your hair, dishonor your family.
But seriously, imagine if we couldn't cut our hair today. Do you think I could rock the long hair look?
Man, I don't know. Anyway, I have no idea how the ancient Chinese did it, but they did.
And they were serious about their hair. For example, in the spring and autumn period, sinners were punished by being required to shave their hair and beard, which was considered worse than any other physical punishments because it was an insult to the soul.
And in a story from the Three Kingdoms, when General Cao Cao disobeyed military orders on the way to a battle, instead of receiving the death sentence, he cut his own hair. So basically, cutting his own hair was equivalent to death.
Or worse.
Anyway, aside from being super valued, hair also functioned as a symbol of lots of things like marriage status, ethnicity, class, and political alignment. So you could really tell a lot about a person from his or her hairstyle. It's like having a secret code, made of hair.
Marriage status. In ancient China, unmarried women wore their hair down or in a braid, and long black hair was considered highly desirable in the so-called marriage market. Young girls weren't allowed to coil up their hair with hairpins. Once they got married, they would start wearing their hair up.
Boys always had a hair code of sorts. After reaching adulthood, they wore a jiefa, or a top knot covered with a square cloth or hat. People at jiefa age were expected to get married, hence the term 结发夫妻, which means a husband and wife who married when they were young.
Furthermore, for guys, a full head of hair was considered a sign of strength and virility.
Social status. Hair also came to be a symbol of class and ranking, especially during the Tang Dynasty, when tons of different shapes and styles emerged, each signifying a different class status.
Yeah, I could tell that's already my favorite dynasty because, different styles.
Yeah, you like your styles.
Exactly. Anyways, hair ornaments and accessories could also reflect a person's social standing. Ji, or hairpins, and hair clasps were worn by both Chinese men and women to keep a coiled bun in place.
These hairpins could be made out of jade, gold, silver, ivory, bronze, or carved wood, and were often decorated with lucky animals such as dragons, phoenixes, and zodiac animals, or plants such as lotus flowers or plum trees.
The patterns, craftsmanship, materials, and number of hair ornaments worn reveal social status. For example, you've got the fancy schmancy buyao hairpin, which was generally made of gold in the shape of a dragon or phoenix and adorned with pearls, jewels, and exquisite carved designs. It also had hanging pendants that framed the face and danced as the wearer moved. Hence the name, which literally means shake as you go.
Unsurprisingly, the buyao pin denoted noble status. However, these fancier and more elaborate hair ornaments were more popular in the later Ming and Qing dynasties, and less so in the dynasties before.
Ethnicity. As far as ethnic trends go, the Han people, which are China's majority ethnic group, usually wore their hair bound, while other ethnic groups have long, disheveled hair. Thus, long and unkempt hair was seen as a symbol of the minority group or outside barbarian.
In the Jin dynasty, when the Jurchen tribes conquered China, Emperor Taizong ordered all Chinese to adopt Tartar dress and hairstyles. But during the Ming dynasty, the Chinese reverted back to Han dress and hairstyles to rid the country of foreign influence. But after the Ming dynasties, things changed a lot.
Right, when the Manchu people conquered China and established the Qing dynasty, the last dynasty, Chinese hair started following Manchu rules. Basically, that was a complete 180 from before, or at least for men.
Okay, first, let's start with the women, since hair didn't change as much for them. Young girls wore a single ponytail behind them and round the end with a red cord, sometimes also fastening a gold or silver bead to the tip. Their front hair, however, was cut into bangs. Yup.
I love bangs.
I love bangs too.
Yeah. Now, married women arrange their hair into a bun, much like before, and fasten it with a silver ornamental stick. Like we mentioned before, hair accessories were especially popular during the Qing Dynasty.
In fact, the Manchu noblewomen took hair ornaments to a whole new level. They were known for 金头, or hair of the capital, elaborate head dresses adorned with various jewels, embroideries, and hanging tassels.
But now let's move on to the men's hairstyles. Remember how the ancient Chinese had the whole never cut your hair because it's disrespectful to your parents and insulting the soul thing? Well, the Manchurians paid no mind to that.
All male civilians were required to shave the front of the head above the temples and then wear the rest of their hair braided in a long ponytail, which was called a queue. The only exception were for Buddhist monks and Taoist priests.
Yeah, I mean, Buddhist monks had no hair and Taoist priests had like a lot of hair.
Yeah, Taoist priests didn't shave anything.
Yeah, they
just kept everything.
It's like polar opposites.
Yeah. Also in history, that's the wackiest hairstyle ever.
That's right.
How do you like maintain that?
I don't know. That's insane. I want to know. I want to know a step-by-step
guide. You can like whip people with your braided hair.
That's what you see in Kung Fu movies.
Yeah.
And the Manchu rulers also took their hair equally seriously. If you were a Chinese male, not a monk or priest, and didn't get the queue within 10 days, you were executed for treason. Yeah.
The Qing rulers adopted the slogan 留发不留头,留头不留发, which means...
Yeah, I don't know idea.
Okay. It means keep your hair, lose your head. Keep your head, lose your hair. Talk about extremes.
The queue was basically a public demonstration of submission to the Qing emperor and symbolized social order and obedience. Unfortunately, there was widespread bloody resistance to the Qing emperor, and Qing officials fought back with deadly force, massacring thousands upon thousands of rebels.
Unshaven heads, or queue cutting, came to be signs of dissent and rebellion. For example, the rebel Taiping armies were cursed by the Qing rulers as hairy thieves.
Finally, after the Qin dynasty was overthrown in the Revolution of 1911, which brought an end to China's imperial era and established the Republic of China, Chinese hairstyles changed nearly overnight.
The queue, which had become a symbol of the Qing dynasty, was regarded as a sign of a fallen government and was quickly discarded.
So that basically just ushered in the modern era of hairstyles not really meaning much.
Right. I've also seen movies where like some of these people, they were like maybe Qing officials and they were getting their braids cut by force. Oh. And they were just like screaming and crying because they're like, no, you cannot cut my braids. It's kind of sad, but you know, that was kind of a sad part of Chinese history.
Yeah, definitely. But now like we can go to Chinatown and get those
those hats.
Those hats.
With the little braids on there. But you have to shave the front of your head.
No, you wear a bald cap. That's true.
Anyway, guys, let us know which dynasty's hairstyle you like the most. Thank you so much for watching. See you later.
Later. Hair ornaments and accessories could also reflect a person's social standing. G. The patterns, craftsmanship, materials, and number of hair ornaments worn reveal social status. For example, you've got the fancy schmancy come on, man. Buyao. Married women arrange their hair into a bun, much like before, fasten it with a silver bianfang. Come on, man. What is it bianfang? Bianfang. Bangfang. Biangfang.